Happy New Year, everybody, and thank you guys for your support throughout 2020. Without the support for the patrons and your likes and your shares and the comments, that wouldn't have been possible. And well, at least the stock markets was really good in 2020, so let's hope that this can continue. And we have some news around Tesla, for instance, now that there is belief that this story can actually go on. So congratulations to Elon Musk and the Tesla team for delivering close to 500,000 cars in 2020, which is really massive during this whole pandemic. And this gets even more fun if we look at what the short seller Mark Spiegel wrote about Tesla back in 2014, that it would be hilarious to assume that Tesla would ever deliver 500,000 cars in 2020. And while Tesla has pulled it off and they delivered on their targets and goals, the short seller lost. And this is a reminder that without Tesla and without Elon Musk, we wouldn't see those positive vibes around EVs, and the electric vehicle markets would be nowhere close if not for the pioneer work that Elon Musk and Tesla have been doing. And now we've got some great news around Made in China Model Y. The pricing has been announced, so this video is about how this will affect Tesla. What does it mean for Tesla? And of course, stick till the end of this video if you want to know more about how this will also affect the entire industry, as well as NIO and possibly NIO's stock price regarding this news. And as always, I would appreciate your early support also in 2021. Please smash the like button if you find this video entertaining and valuable, and please consider to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. So the Made in China Model Y has been announced and the local pricing for China was released, which caused actually the Tesla servers to crash and lots of the people storming Tesla storefronts in China. So we see this huge demand spike for Tesla in China because of course Model Y has been priced very attractively. It's starting from 340,000 RMB for the long-range model and 370,000 RMB for the performance version. So I was long expecting that the Model Y would be priced this way. When Gary Black on Twitter asked me in November, I mentioned that I expected to be priced around 350 to 388k. So that was really pretty damn close. So what does Model Y in China mean for Tesla, but also the industry in general? First off, I want to respond to those who are saying that, well, this is actually a price discount and Tesla's cutting prices way too much, and this is, you know, bad on the brand, and also that this is actually not good news. In my views, it's quite the contrary. I think it's reflecting the localization that Tesla is doing in China, as we will see in a second. And in general, it's also showing, like, you know, once again, how quickly is Tesla ramping here with Shanghai, Gigafactory Shanghai, what they have done already in 1 year, and now putting on top already in early 2021 that they are starting production of Model Y. This is incredible speed. This is incredible attractive pricing on top of how they are executing on their goals. And I think this is actually the first step to hopefully up to 1 million cars delivered in 2021. That's my personal bet that we will see another doubling in cars delivered from Tesla in 2021. So what does it mean for competition and particularly about NIO? Well, first here is my updated pricing chart for EVs in China. As you can see, the Model Y is now much cheaper than the imported Model Y version, but still above the China EV subsidy threshold of around 42,000 US dollars. So Model Y in China will not receive the subsidy similar to most Model 3s in China. And now there might be even talk about how the Model Y will actually even hurt Tesla themselves with competing or cannibalizing Model 3 sales, and also how it may hurt NIO on top of that. And my take on that is different. I think Model Y will be a huge success in China, and it will open up the market even more. It will be growing the market share of EVs in general and leveraging Tesla's brand to eat up the sales of internal combustion engine cars. Because if you look at the bigger picture here, really what you see, it's not so much EV taking market share from EV, it's rather the EVs are growing into the market of the internal combustion engine cars. And now with Model Y, which is so attractive here, I think that will just accelerate this kind of phenomenon. phenomenon. Now regarding NIO and the impact, on a conservative and a cautious note, yes, I do think that Model Y will have an implication on NIO, and there will be some customers that are switching, maybe canceling their existing orders with NIO and rather make an order for a Tesla Model Y, simply because the offering is really good and there might be the preference for the Model Y, which is really a nice car. And so I think we should see some signs like that from time to time. But I don't expect this to be a super impactful nor long-lasting trend that could bring trouble to NIO. If we look at the model setup and the different baselines, you'll see that of course Model Y is directly competing with the EC6 and in some ways also with the ES6 and the ES8, but NIO has an incredible lineup here as well, with a car that is likewise very attractive if you compare just the specs. And to be really honest with you, I would say that somebody who's just really looking at the technical specs and the price, performance and the acceleration and that kind of thing, this person is likely to go with the Model Y simply because on the spec side, this is the better car and Tesla is the champ here. They are the leader in the industry. They simply have the better efficiency and the biggest bang for the buck. But I think this kind of thinking is not inherent to all customers. NIO has many great configuration options and more to offer besides just the car. Some people may choose the better car quality of NIO cars over price and performance of the Tesla models, and some may look to the benefits of battery as a service either for lower initial purchase price or just the option to swap in the newest battery tech later. And some other customers may simply want to get part of the NIO life, a great service experience and all of the benefits around the car that NIO has to offer. And this should really be the case for the more luxury-oriented customers that NIO is catering. Remember the S1 filing slide that I have shared when Citroën went short NIO? For NIO, it was clear from their IPO that they want to position themselves more against the German OEMs than competing with Tesla's user group. And so they expected Model Y to be priced that way, and NIO is striving to deliver a new kind of user experience that is unique, and in my views, they are succeeding at it. And in the end, it's just coming down to the questions whether those two companies can actually go their way and become profitable and succeed the way that they approach it. And these are my views. NIO has a higher average sales price than Tesla and will continue to do so after Model Y in China as well. Their vehicle margins are a bit lower than tech leader Tesla, but I expect that Tesla also had, well, to lower their margins a little bit in order to come up with such competitive prices. So in the end, I think Tesla and NIO make round about the same profit per vehicle. Tesla leveraging higher margins and NIO leveraging higher brand perception and therefore higher prices. So this is why it's extremely hard to compete for Xpeng with lower prices and lower margin. They would have to sell way more cars than Tesla and NIO in order to achieve the same gross profit. And yet with these prices, Tesla is accessing a slightly higher total accessible market than NIO. However, I would argue that with the battery as a service, NIO has in principle also ways to tapping into this bigger market. So in a way, both companies have kind of a unique approach towards the market and can be successful their own way. At the same time, both will be leading the EV transition in China and possibly beyond. And this is why I think Model Y in China will be a huge success. It will drive the EV adoption, and it will be rather a problem for those companies that stick with producing internal combustion engine cars. So ultimately, this is my take and my views on the implications of Model Y in China and why I want to keep being invested in both Tesla as well as NIO. What is your take around it? Do you think Model Y is too cheaply priced in China, or do you think that actually it will wipe out any competition? I'm curious to hear down in the comments. So thank you guys for watching and see you in the next one.